Hey guys, this is lesson 4.3, interpret the remainder, and our essential question is how can you use remainders in division problems? Alright, we're going to look at unlock the problem first. Magda has some leftover wallpaper 73 inches long. She wants to cut it into 8 pieces to use around the photos in her scrapbook. Each piece will have equal length. How long will each piece be? Alright, so first of all, as always, I'm going to go right ahead and I'm going to underline the information that I think is most valuable. So wallpaper, that's 73 inches long, and then we're going to put that into 8 pieces, okay? So we're dividing it out. So, yep, that's where I'm going to go. When you solve a division problem, right now it's going to be 73 divided by 8, or another way that you can write it is 73 divided by 8, okay? And right away we know that there's going to be a remainder because 8 times what is 73? Nothing. Okay, 8 times 7, 8 times 9 is 72. So we know that and 8 times 10 is 80. So we know that nothing times 8 is going to get us to 73, so we know that there's going to be a remainder. Okay, but we need to figure out what that remainder really means. Okay, so one way, write the remainder as a fraction. Okay, so the divisor is blank pieces. So right here, the 8. The 8 is your divisor. So I'm going to put 8 on the line over here. Okay, and then the blank is 73 inches. Okay, so what we call that number on the inside of the dividing, or what we're dividing, or what we're starting at, is called the dividend. Okay, let's see if I spelled that right. Yes, I did. Okay, the dividend is 73 inches. Okay, so you're going to divide to find the quotient and the remainder. Okay, so we know that, or I was just talking to you earlier, that 8 times 9 was 72, so I'm 1 short. So that's why I have 8 times 9 here is 72, but then I need to get to 73, so I'm remainder 1. I'm 1 short. So the remainder represents 1 inch left over, which can also be divided into 8 equal parts and written as a fraction. So you have your remainder over the divisor. So we have your remainder, which was 1, and then over, which your divisor, which we can come up here, which is 8 pieces. It's how many pieces you have. Okay, so 1 over 8. Write the quotient with the remainder written as a fraction. So we took 8 times 9. Okay, and then we had 1 as the remainder. And then the divisor was how many pieces? We had 1 piece left out of the 8 pieces that we were trying to divvy out to get to people, or, well, sorry, not get to people, but the photos, okay, or the wallpaper. Okay, so each piece will be 9 and 1/8 inches long. Okay, so remember the remainder is the top one, and the divisor, how many pieces we had, is the bottom. So there was 1 piece left over out of a total of 8 pieces. Okay, and 9's the number that we used, 8 times 9, okay, to get as close as we could to 73. Obviously 8 times 9 is 72, so that's where the 1 came from. Okay, let's go to this bottom one. Daniel made 32 ounces of soup for 5 people. How many ounces will each person get? Complete the division. So I'm going to underline the information that I need. We have 32 ounces and for 5 people. So we need to split those 32 ounces equally for those 5 people. So that's why we have a division problem. Okay, now we just have to think. 5 times what can get us as close as we can to 32? Well, in my head, I know what 5 times 6 is, which is 30. 5 times 7 is 35, so it can't be 7 because I'm over 32. So I have to stick with the 6. Okay, so I'm going to put a 6 up here. Okay, So 5 times 6 is 30, and I'm going to write 30 right underneath it just so I know how many short I am to get to 32. Okay, so we're short 2. So we're short 2, but then if we go back to the problem, how many people were we trying to spread that out to? Okay, 5. So I'm going to put 5 on the bottom. Okay, so 5 times 6 got us to 30, but then I was too short to get to 32, so that's where the 2 came from. And then I'm too short out of the total 5 people that I was giving to. So my answer would be 6 and 2/5, there we go, ounces. Okay? Alright, so remember the 2 represents the remainder, and then the 5 represents the divisor. Okay, how many things we were dividing out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we were trying to put 32 ounces in equally into these 5. Okay? Alright, so let's go on to the next page. There are other ways to look at it. Okay? Use only the quotient. Okay, use only the answer. Ben is a tour guide at a glass blowing studio. He can take no more than 7 people at a time on a tour. If 80 people want to see the glass blowing demonstration, how many groups of 7 will Ben show around? Okay, so first, before they even, do anything, I'm going to just, you underline my information. So I have 7 people, okay, that are in my group here. And then I have, 7 people. And then if there's a total of 80 people that want to see it, so I'm going to have 80 divided by 7. Okay, so the quotient here, well, first of all, let's just write it out over here. So if this is dividing when I use multiplication, 7 times something is going to get us as close as we can to 80. So I'm going to come down here. Oh man, so I'm going to go 7 times 10, I know is 70. So I need like another 10 more, which, 7 times 2 is 14, so that's too much. So I'm going to go with 7 times 1, okay, equals 7. Okay, so if I add that up, as close as I'm going to get is 77. Okay, and then if I add my thing up, 8 times, oh yeah, I should have been able to figure that out. 10 plus 1 is 11. Okay, so I know that it's going to take 7 times 11 to get as close as I can to 88, which is 77. So what's the difference between 77 and 80? Okay, 77, 78, 79, 80. So there's a difference of 3. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. The quotient, okay, what I got for an answer is 11. So 7 times 11 is as close as I can. Okay, then the remainder is what I had left over to get to 80, which would have been 3, because I was short 3 to get from 77 to 80. Okay, so Ben can give out tours to 7 people at a time. The quotient is the number of tours, which is right here, the number of tours of exactly 7 people. Okay, so there can be 11 groups with 7 people in them to go that he can show around. So Ben will give tours to 11 groups of 7 people. Okay, if Ben gives tours to all 80 people, how many tours will he give? A tour can have no more than 7 people, and to show all 80 people around, Ben will have to give 1 more tour. Like, we cannot forget about the other 3 people that don't get to go. So he's actually going to have to do 12 tours in order to make sure you show everybody, all 80 people that want to go. Okay, does that make sense? I mean, if he can only do 7 people at a time, you can only do 11. Because that's as close as we can get to 80 over here. But then we can't forget about these 3 people. Like, if he wants to for sure take all 80 people, those lucky 3 people get to go on another tour by themselves. So he'll have to do 12 tours in order to get everybody. Okay? C, use only the remainder. Ben gives tours to all 80 people. After he completes the tours for groups of 7 people, how many people are in his last tour? Okay, so we just said that 3 of those people get to be on that last tour. Okay? Alright, let's go ahead and try this bottom one. Students are driven to soccer games in vans. Each van holds 9 students. How many vans are needed for 31 students? So here we are, we're going to take 9 times something is equal to 31 students. And remember, we got to get as close as we can. 9 times 5 is 45, so that's too much. Let's see, 9 times 4, 36, so 9 times 3 is 27. No, hold on. Yeah, that's right. Okay, 9 times 3 is 27, so that's as close as we're going to get to 31. Okay, so I'm right 27 here. Okay, so what's the difference between 27 and 31? Okay, the difference is 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So that's 4. Okay, there's 4 kiddos that are not going to make the 9 students in each band. Okay, so 31 divided by 9, we have, we used a 3, so it would be 3 vans, but remainder of 4 kids. Looks like we might be taking another extra van here. So since there are 4 students left over, you need, 4 vans are going to be needed instead of the 3 vans. Okay, so yeah, since there are 4 students left over, we have to bump this put another van in there, so we have 4 vans now, so we make sure that we have all 31 students taken care of. Okay, alright, let's go for the next page. Olivia baked 51 mini loaves of banana bread, to be sliced for snacks at a craft fair. She will place an equal number of loaves in 6 different locations. How many loaves will be at each location? So first, I'm going to find my information. I have 53 mini loaves of banana bread. And then, well, gotta make that better. 53 mini loaves, okay? And then I know that there's 6 different locations that I gotta divvy out that 53 mini loaves of banana bread. Okay, so this would be 53 divided by 6. So I'm going to take 6 times something equals 53. Okay, so let's see. 6 times 5 is 30, 6 times 7 is 42, 6 times 8 is 48, 6 times 9 is 54. So that would be too much. So I gotta go with, see how easy it is if you know your facts, guys? Keep working on those. So 6 times 8 is 48. Okay, and that's as close as I'm going to get to 53. So the difference between 48 and 53 is 5. There's a difference of 5 between there. Okay, so my answer is going to be 6 times 8 is 48, but the difference between 53 and 48, that I have a remainder left over of 5. Okay, so divide the quotient with remainder, did that. Decide how to use the quotient and remainder to answer the question. So this says, how many loaves will be at each location? So there will be for sure 8 loaves, but then we have to deal with this remainder. Okay, so remember, if we go back to this page right here, a remainder over a divisor. So our remainder is 5. Okay, and then our divisor, there were 6 different locations, so the 6 has to go on the bottom. Okay, so there will be 8 and 5, 6 at each station. Okay, alright, so let's see. I want you to, let's see, I'm going to do this one with you, and then I want you to just do number 4 and number 3. Okay, we don't have to do any of these ones. Okay, alright, let's do number 2. What if Olivia wants to put only whole loaves at each location. How many loaves will be at each location? Okay, so let's see, did we need any more information there? No, we don't need any more information. They just want to know how many whole loaves. So when they say that, that means like they don't want this extra fraction that we have here. They just want to know how many whole loaves we have, which would be 8. Okay? Alright, so do number 3 by yourself. See how that goes. Use multiplication to help you, and use what you know about multiplication to help you get there. Okay, number 4. Let's do that one. Myra has 17-foot roll of crepe paper to make 8 streamers to decorate for a party. How long will each streamer be if she cuts the roll into equal pieces? Okay, so we have a 17-foot roll, and then we have 8 streamers. Okay, so we're going to take, oops. Hold on, there we go. Okay, 8 times something equals as close as we can to 17. Okay, so 8 times 3 is 24, too much. So 8 times 2 equals 16. Alright, so looks like I'm short 1. Okay, so my answer would be 2. Okay, 2, and then I'm short 1 remainder. Okay, my remainder over my divisor, so 2 and 1, and then it says 8 streamers, so I'm going to put an 8 down here. Okay, oh, that was an ugly 8, I apologize for that. Okay, alright, so let's go ahead and go to our homework and see how many we need to do there. Okay, for sure I know we're not going to do any of the writing one, but I want you to do, okay, I want you to do 1 through 5. Okay, and then, so 1 through 5. Okay, and then on the back page, let's just do one of the sides there. So let's just do this first side. Okay, alright, if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, you can go back and watch the video. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks.